You're listening to the Roadrunner Radio Podcast
from Mr. Bakeman and the students of Rural Point Elementary School.
We start this episode with some news from the music room. We will be introducing new instruments in the next few weeks that are a combination of two other instruments. The flute-o-net is made from a flute and a clarinet. The drumpet is a combination of a drum and a trumpet. And the xylocorder is a recorder mixed with a xylophone. Students can look forward to seeing these new instruments 1 week soon when they go to music class.
Why did the teddy bear say no to dessert?
because she was stuffed.
What did the left eye say to the right eye?
Between us, something smells.
What did one plate say to the other plate?
Dinner's on me.
Why did the student eat his homework?
Because the teacher told him it was a piece of cake.
2 pickles fell out of a jar and onto the floor. What did one say to the other?
Deal with it.
Why did the kid cross the playground?
To get to the other slide.
How do you stop an astronaut baby from crying?
You rock it.
And now a garden update. More notes are being found in the garden from the various animals that roam there. In the past, there has been some confusion by the animals on whether dancing is allowed in the garden. This time, 5th grader Riley LaPrey found the note. She is here to read it to you.
Okay, the note says, hello, this is the fox. I can't believe the possum said I have 2 left feet and that I'm not a good dancer. He's so rude. I love to dance, but sometimes I trip. No big deal. You should see the possums dance. Embarrassing. Anyways, we still have dance parties out here at night when no one is watching. And please say hi to Miss Valleys for us.
Mrs. Valleys, our garden master du jour, said she is tired of telling people and animals not to dance in the garden. In a recent statement, Mrs. Valleys changed her mind on the subject.
It really is okay to dance in the garden. Just don't step on the plants.
And now some news from the art room. Our fantastic art teacher, Mrs. Bemis, has declared the month of October to be Van Gogh month. When students go to art during October, they should unscrew one of their ears and leave them in the hallway next to the library. Students can reattach their ears once art class is over. Long live Van Gogh, and thank you, Mrs. Bemis.
What did the limestone say to the geologist?
Don't take me for granted.
How much does it cost a pirate to get his ears pierced?
About $1 an ear.
How do you talk to a giant?
Use big words.
What building in New York has the most stories?
The public library.
How do we know that the ocean is friendly?
Because it waves.
And now some news from the Lost and Found cabinet. We have a cat in a taco suit, a taco in a cat suit, an upside-down pineapple, a pair of pants with only one leg wearing a pair of pants, 2 identical twin girls and 2 boys that look nothing alike, an hourglass with only enough sand in it to last for 30 minutes, and a thoroughly confused Whopper from Burger King in a Big Mac wrapper. If any of these items belong to you, please see Mrs. Richardson in the office.
What is a tornado's favorite game to play?
Twister.
How are false teeth like stars?
They come out at night.
What's worse than finding a worm in your apple?
Finding half a worm in your apple.
How does a cucumber become a pickle?
It goes through a jarring experience.
What do you call a boomerang that won't come back?
A stick.
What do you think of that new diner on the moon?
Food was good, but there really wasn't much atmosphere.
How do you make an octopus laugh?
With tentacles.
Oi, 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 oi.
All right, so we're here today with Mrs. Farnsworth, one of our awesome second grade teachers here at Rural Point, and I just have some questions for her. Hello, Mrs. Farnsworth.
Hello, Mr. Bakeman.
Thank you for answering these questions and being on the podcast.
Absolutely.
So, what is the best part about being a teacher?
I love watching the children learn something new and seeing the excitement in their faces.
I agree. I enjoy that as a music teacher as well. It's really fun. So, if you were not a teacher or in education at all, what would you do for a job?
I would love to raise and train therapy dogs to go and visit the sick and the lonely people.
I love dogs.
I do too.
They just make you smile.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, wonderful. All right. What was your favorite subject in school?
I love them all. Oh, I guess I cannot say recess.
I thought you were going to say lunch.
Or
actually.
lunch. Yeah, that was my second favorite. Yeah. Okay, so if I had to pick, I would say reading would be my favorite.
Ah, reading. Yeah, that's the key to life, isn't it?
It sure is.
Yeah, okay. Do you play any instruments?
I took piano lessons when I was in 3rd grade.
Okay.
I wish I had listened to my mom when she said to practice, but I didn't. So I wish I could play that. And now I'm learning to play the ukulele.
I've heard you play the ukulele.
Thanks to Mrs. Parker.
Yeah.
She is trying to help me. So I'm going to dig in and find my grit and keep on working until I can do it.
I like that finding your grit thing. That's good. I think we all need to work on that.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a lightning round now. So I'll say one thing or the other, and you have to tell me what's your favorite of the two.
Okay.
So muffin or bagel?
Bagel with lots of cream cheese.
Okay. Yes. All right. Pencil or pen?
Pen.
Pen. Okay.
Purple pen.
Okay. Purple pen. Okay. Batman or Superman?
Superman.
That's a tough one. Yeah.
It is.
All right. Valentine's Day or St. Patrick's Day?
Well, I love candy, so I'm going to have to say Valentine's Day.
Okay. Good. iPhone or Android?
An iPhone.
Okay.
And yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I need a new one. So
Oh, well, there you go.
You have one? Yeah.
I know. Mine's kind of old too, actually.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. And then a really tough one. Soup or salad?
I'm going to go with salad with lots of croutons.
Okay. Good. Well, thank you so much, Mrs. Farnsworth, for being in the podcast and sitting for this interview.
Thank you, Mr. Bakeman. I enjoyed it. I think these podcasts are really cool. I think you're an amazing teacher. So thank you for all that you do.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Ms. Farnsworth. And now for a new segment here on the Roadrunner Radio Podcast called I Spy. In the I Spy segment, students and faculty will be challenged to find a hidden object located somewhere in the school building that is actually in plain sight. The object will not be outside, but somewhere inside, and you'll be able to spot it walking with your class in line to and from resource classes or to the cafeteria or out to the playground. The I Spy challenge for this episode is to find the little purple man. I say again, the little purple man. That's it. No other clues or help will be given, so keep your eyes peeled and let me know if you find it. And now it's time for another installment of
Mysterious Places.
This time in
Mysterious Places.
we visit the sleepy little town of West Point, Virginia. West Point lies about 37 miles east of Richmond in King William County, where the Mattapony and Pamunkey rivers meet the York River. The town is known for its annual Crab Carnival, usually held the first week in October. But one other claim to fame is the mysterious West Point Light at the Gogh train crossing, just on the outskirts of town on State Route 632. What is the West Point Light, you might ask? For years, locals and visitors alike have reported seeing a light moving silently along the train tracks near the Gogh train crossing. It's a light that is definitely not attached to a train, but appears and disappears at random, usually late at night, and is seen to float down the tracks. Folks have been seeing this mysterious light for over 100 years, and at one time it was such a popular spot that people had to be sent away by the local police because there were just so many people waiting to catch a glimpse. There are several theories on what this light might actually be. One story is that it belongs to a Confederate train that was attacked by Union forces during the Civil War. Nobody really knows for sure what causes it, and so it remains a mystery. One of those unsolved riddles that just makes life interesting. This summer, I made a trip to West Point with my friend Chris to see for myself. Here's an audio clip from that night. All right. Hey there, this is Mr. Bakeman. I'm actually in my car right now, and we've been through the town of West Point. We're coming up on the Gogh crossing, which is where people have seen the West Point light, or where people do sometimes see the West Point light. It's also sometimes referred to as the Gogh light. I'm taking this trip today with my good friend Chris. Say hi, Chris.
Hey.
So it's a balmy night in July, and it's right at 9 o'clock p.m. It's a little bit getting close to dusk, and it's getting pretty dark. So if the light is there, we hopefully will be able to see it.
Yep.
Unfortunately, it's against the law to get out of your car and walk around. There's really no place to park. It's just a road and a railroad crossing. So what we're going to do is, just as we approach, we're just going to go really slow, stop at the tracks and take a look down toward West Point and see if we see anything. All right. Okay, we are right at the tracks now, approaching the crossing, and I'm going to slow down here. There's nobody behind us, thank goodness. That means we can kind of slow down and take a look. And okay, we're stopped right on the tracks, and fortunately there's no trains coming. I'm looking down the track toward West Point, and I do not see anything. I think you might have to, spend some time here if you could, and kind of camp out, sit in a chair for a while,
Dark yet either.
and see what you can see. But we don't see any lights at all right now from down the track, unfortunately. But it's cool that we did this and came down here in first person just to see it ourselves and see what's going on down here. It's kind of cool. I have to say, even though we're not seeing any lights, there is a feeling of creepiness in the air, I have to tell you. I can't imagine what actually seeing the light would be like. It would probably be pretty creepy. But there's a car coming from the other direction, so we're going to go ahead and go. And all right, well, that's my report from the Gogh crossing in West Point. If you ever get a chance to come out here one night with your camera, and maybe you can do the same thing that we did, and maybe you'll get lucky and see the light. All right. Although we didn't see anything, we still had a great time, and we plan on going back sometime soon. Special thanks to the students who participated in this episode. They are Camden, Bryn P., Cooper, Stewart, Bryn J., and Riley.
All the music in this podcast was composed by Mr. Bakeman, except for the opening theme song, which was composed by Paul Hickey.
Thanks for tuning in and subscribing, and we'll see you next time on the Roadrunner Radio Podcast.